Now, it sounds like things are moving faster now. Like, I was just reading up a little bit on the Azure's blockchain as a service, and that should probably accelerate development. So, would you? Am I seeing that the same way you
Yeah, I think it's good. Microsoft has chosen to be a partner in this. They want in on this space, obviously, as part of they see this as part of their Azure platform where they can, at least lend their infrastructure to Bitcoin, Bitcoin technologies, right? The same way I think they see it as a service like their SQL Server you can rent from them, or Windows or virtual machines or something like that, right? They see this as just like Amazon, AWS has a bunch of services you can use, right? They are placing a bet on offering like this blockchain as a service.
But here's the thing that I'm still not 100% clear on, and maybe you can chime in, David, and take some of the technical stuff that Leon is talking about and maybe dumb it down even some more for me, and for the listeners, right? So LeonFu.com said that it's a high value, or that it means something for a cryptocurrency to be on the Microsoft Azure network. Now, does that mean that Microsoft approves of their cryptocurrency? Does it mean they support it? What does it mean to be on the Azure network? I mean, can I put my website on there? Does that mean anything? Well, why don't you go first, Leon, and then you can go second, David.
Okay, so my understanding is that at least Microsoft has vetted them, and they believe that their technology has some value. Okay.
What happened to the sound on your side? It kind of muffled all of a sudden.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to. I'm not holding the phone. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So my understanding of it, and I haven't really done a lot of research. Okay, that they're basically using their Azure infrastructure, okay, to host these blockchains, right? Kind of like, I see them being something like, blockchain.info?
Yeah.
Okay, so
what does
blockchain.info do? What does blockchain.info, what do they do?
Okay, blockchain.info is a browser-based service that allows you to read the Bitcoin blockchain or the Bitcoin public ledger, so that you can see where all the transactions are coming in and out. The only thing is that,
so why do you need them? Because why can't you just read the blockchain directly?
Because it's the user interface. It makes it so it's easier for the human eyes, for non-technical people like myself, to read the public ledger.
Yeah, it's not just even technical people, right?
Yeah.
It's basically so blockchain.info, and there's a bunch of competitors now, right? The blockchain, like Blocker.io. There's actually about half a dozen of these competitors to blockchain.info. They provide,
but blockchain.info was the first one on the market.
Blockchain.info was the first, but I've seen they've got some serious competition now. Like BlockCypher, I think, is like one of them. Who I think it seems like they seem to have done a better job. But anyway, the point is, whether it's BlockCypher, blockchain.info, or all of these competitors, they're providing like an API so that developers can easily build blockchain apps, right, that can read and write to the blockchain, right, the Bitcoin blockchain, right? You can understand that they are building an API so that I can just make a call to I can look at their API and make a REST call to say, for example, if I want to look up a balance on a particular Bitcoin address, right?
Yeah.
Instead of me having to write the code to read the Bitcoin blockchain myself, right, And that also means if I need to read it, I would have to store a copy of the blockchain on my own computer, which maybe I don't have the 50 gigabytes to do that, right?
Yeah.
I can make an API call to blockchain.info and have blockchain.info return that information to me, so I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So I see Microsoft Azure providing these types of services on whichever blockchain they're deciding to support.
Okay. So just adding on to that.
So basically, Microsoft is they're doing what blockchain.info does, except instead of doing it for Bitcoin, they're doing it for all these other altcoins like Ethereum, for Augur, for I guess for Slockit when it comes out.
Yeah. So let's read. I'll read a paragraph from a press release, right?
Yeah.
And this is the press release for Ethereum, right? So Ethereum blockchain as a service provided by Microsoft Azure and Consensus allows for financial services customers partners to play, learn, and fail fast in a low-cost, ready-made dev test production environment. It will allow them to create public-private consortiums based on blockchain environments using industry-leading frameworks, very quickly distributing their blockchain products with Azure's worldwide distribution private platform. That makes Azure a great dev test production environment for blockchain applications. Surrounding capabilities like Cortana Analytics, Power BI, Azure Active Directory, O366. So all of these are like Microsoft services, right?
Okay.
Can be integrated into apps launching a new generation of decentralized cross-platform applications. Okay, so it's an exciting time. So that was a press release on November 9th, 2015, when they announced Ethereum on the Azure platform, right?
Okay.
So I'll try to do a translation of that to, for lay people. If you want to build an Ethereum app, right, what Microsoft is doing is they're providing you tools. Now, these tools could be Microsoft development tools, Microsoft capabilities like Cortana, Analytics, Power BI. I'm not really familiar with all of these Microsoft products, but they're going to integrate them into Ethereum and all these other blockchains that they're supporting, so that you can use Microsoft tools and Microsoft infrastructure, right? Their cloud infrastructure, their development tools with these products. That's what they're doing. They're trying to integrate the tools that Microsoft has with these other types of blockchain. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And Microsoft has very good developer tools. Okay. I mean, they've been doing this for 30 years. Like the software developers use to create software, right?
Now, are you saying that because you used to work for them and you have a bias towards Microsoft?
No, I don't. I used to have a bias. Now I'm an Apple guy, right? But yeah, I've used Microsoft developer tools for over 15 years. Like I've used VB, I've used their SQL, their database product. Like I've used professionally, like I've had jobs.
Yeah, they have really good tools. I mean, that's why there are so many applications out there and so many developers.
Yes,
right?
That's right.
Because they make it easy to develop on the platform.
Yes,
and it sounds like this is the area they're also getting into, making it easy for people to develop applications that require blockchain. And so what that means is a company who wants to build an interesting app doesn't have to spend a lot of time getting the infrastructure, learning how to build their own blockchain.
And build their own tools, right?
And build their own tools. So it means that the speed of development is faster, and the kind of mistakes they're going to make, they don't have to create all these libraries from scratch. They can already use these at least tested and established APIs. So to me, that just cuts down the development time. It makes it so that companies can focus on whatever interesting app they're working on rather than the
technology
of
the
infrastructure
with
the infrastructure, and also as a technology like Microsoft, when they are starting a new technology or getting into new technology, they're going to choose and vet partners that they think will. It's great to hear that they're supporting it and they are interested in the technology. 2, they're going to choose partners, strategic partners, that help them prove out their own technology, and they believe will also give them a lot of market reach. So those are all good things in terms of exposure, in my mind.
So that's as traders, Ty, what we're interested in as speculators and traders. Right now, if Microsoft gets behind, if Microsoft picks a blockchain to support, it's going up 5 to 10 times.
Okay.
That's what it means as
hey, just so that the audience knows, because you guys are speaking highly of the Microsoft development environment and stuff, Now, you guys are saying this out of experience, right? You guys are not saying this because you guys have a bias for Microsoft, because both you guys used to work there.
I didn't work for. I've never worked for Microsoft, but I've worked. I've just like I've never worked for Apple either. But I was a Microsoft developer. I developed on Visual Basic, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Access, and SQL Server. Their SQL Server product, right? So, my career was based on Microsoft tools for all the way up until I switched over to becoming an iOS developer in 2010.
You're like a trader, bro.
What?
You're like a software trader, man.
Well, Microsoft.
He's a mercenary.
They kind of lost me when they did Vista. That's when I left them.
No.
Because Vista was so bad that.
You were embarrassed to work on it.
Yes, that was kind of like that's what kind of like. Because, it takes a long, I had built up these skills, right, over 10 years on Microsoft tools, right, going way back to Quick Basic in 1989, right? I was working with their DOS tools, right? So I've had a long history with Microsoft tools. But Vista was such a disaster that that's what caused me to move to Mac. But the point I'm trying to say is that right now Microsoft is a big mover and shaker.
Right. Love them or not, love them or hate them, Microsoft is a big and recognized name in the computer industry. I was just looking at the contents of the S&P 500. They're still a huge market cap company, and that's relevant. And in terms of when we're talking about ease of development, that's not a Microsoft or an Apple thing. That's just anybody who's tried to develop any kind of application, develop a website, develop an iOS app, anything requires this whole development cycle of developing, having the developer code it up, then testing it out, and then testing it out with a broader audience. So
and then finally deploying it, right? Production. After you developed and tested, you have to launch it, right? So, there's this whole environment you need to support. You need, as a developer, you need a lot of support, either from Apple or from Microsoft or from somebody, right? Oracle, SAP, all of these are players.
So whenever you guys say that, right? Whenever you guys say that, what does that? Okay, so from a non-coder and non-technical person like myself and the audience that's listening, right? What does that, without all these cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, Lisk, and all these guys being on the Microsoft Azure network, how long would it take for someone to develop their stuff without all those resources and tools? If it was not on there?
If it was not there, they would probably they or somebody else would have to build these tools. Okay, and I mean that's a business in and of itself, right? Building developer tools is kind of is also an industry, right?
Hey, is this similar? Because I remember one time you were telling me to go learn how to code, and you said go look up the Google SDK the developer
so
kit.
Google, look, okay. So if you wanted to be if you wanted to be an Android developer, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say you woke up tomorrow and you say, I'm going to learn how to build Android apps.
I want to be like a LeonFood.com.
Yeah, but for Android, right?
Yeah.
Rather than for Apple, right?
Okay.
Well, what you would do is you would Google Android SDK, which stands for Software Development Kit, right?
Yeah.
And it's a software development kit is a package that Google has put together for developers, which contains all the tools that Google has developed or partnered with other, development tool companies, and it's a package that you download that contains everything you need to start developing Android
software.
apps.
Yeah, Android software. Yeah.
Android software. Yeah, and Apple has a toolkit also, that's called Xcode, right? Where it's kind of like it's just this one gigantic app that runs on a Mac that contains everything you need to start building apps for iOS or Mac, right?
And they give all these tools out for free to anybody.
Well, today developers are so valuable that developer tools are given away for free. But back when I started coding, you actually had to go buy them.
Right. Visual Studio was a $2,000.
It's like or at least a $500 package, right? If you got the cheap edition or something, right? But I remember like coding in the early '90s. I would spend like $70 for a basic compiler. I paid. Borland was a fierce competitor in the '80s and '90s with Microsoft. And there was a lot of Borland tools. They're famous for their Turbo Pascal, Turbo C++. Have you heard of those, David? You remember that?
Bringing me back, but
Yeah. So Borland was this company that was kind of like Microsoft's. It's what kept Bill Gates at night during the 80s and 90s, right?
Bringing it back to the layman, if these tools didn't exist, when the PC first came out, the person creating a game or a spreadsheet or a word processor, they would actually have to go down and learn how to write in what's called assembly code. Really speak really cryptic computer languages, like a computer, like ones and zeros.
And debugging was a pain in the ass, and testing and deployment, and basically these tools just are meant to help programmers become more productive, right? Everything from online help, color coding, autocomplete. So if you don't have to remember how to type out the whole thing, you can just type a few characters. You can just type a few characters and it completes the line of code for you, right? So
for your Android developer, it'd be like a phone emulator, right?
Yeah, phone emulator.
So all these helpful tools to build it.
Yeah, exactly. Does that make sense, Ty? You get it?
Yeah. So basically, so now that you explained that, so basically the Microsoft Azure service is just basically a development environment so that people who want to build decentralized apps on any of these cryptocurrency blockchains can go there, and pretty much all the tools are there.
Or a lot of the tools are there. I don't know how complete their
right. We're still in its infancy, but
yeah. So it's a big deal. Okay, I mean if they and going so this goes back to Lisk, right? Because Lisk got a partnership with Microsoft, right? And that is pretty much a game changer for them, right?
Okay.
that's why they raised $5.4 million. That's why, they are. I sent you 2 links on their blog. From their blog, they made their first hire already, right?
Yeah.
And since we're an investor in that, I guess we're going to follow them and see who they bring on board with that money.
Okay.
And here's another thing also with a partnership. Like if you're one of these special partners, you're not just some guy using the tools. You're one of their initial partners. You're going to get like white glove support. They have some problems, Microsoft will respond and help these developers succeed in developing their app. So that's why it's not just Lisp, this nobody company anymore. They actually have a lot of help now from a really, really large computer
partner. Yeah, computer company. That's right, Ty. So let's say you run into some problems. You're using Microsoft Azure to build something on Ethereum or to build something on Lisp, and something breaks. You don't understand why. You actually have someone to call, right?
Oh, okay.
Right. And not just the generic help desk, but a direct line to developers who are working on these tools as you speak. So that's great access and responsiveness to help them succeed.
Okay. I see what you're saying now.
All right.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the input, man, and that hopefully that clears up the importance. Now, maybe there's one question that I forgot to ask you guys. Right? How easy is it to get support to be supported by the Microsoft Azure Network?
That I don't know.
I mean,
you know what, Ty? If you can get an interview with Max, since you said you've had interactions with before, maybe since he's actually done it, I think that he would be a good person to interview about that. You can get him.
Okay. I'll look into that. I don't think this is a good time right now. When you just received $6 million. You're probably not going to have time to talk about the Microsoft Azure Network right now.
Yeah. But, if he, we can bet that he goes to some Bitcoin conference and maybe you can nail him down there, just like we got Vitalik 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So, that's definitely a question I would have for Max, too. Like, how did you work that deal? Who did you talk to? What is the process? What maybe he?
What if he doesn't want to? What if he doesn't want to reveal it to his competitors?
Well, that's fine. He doesn't have to reveal it. I mean, whatever he wants to reveal, I think it would be informative for everyone, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go into specific,
and that would be telling just to understand what Microsoft's investment in this, right? How responsive are they? So any information, will be helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have any other questions, David?
I'm just trying to wrap my head a little bit more around Flock and where they are in their own process and what possible timelines are. That's I'm just curious about that. And honestly, also Lisk, right? What's now that they've done their ICO, what
did you get in on that, David? Did you get in on?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
One whole Bitcoin, so.
All right. But Slock guys, they were at CeBIT in Hanover, Germany, right? Which is a big consumer electronics fair. It's kind of like a CES in Vegas, like the European version of that. So it would have been good if we could have gotten somebody out there to interview them. They did have a little booth out there. So. All right, man. I think I'm going to get going. It's getting kind of late. So.
All right, man.
I'll catch you guys later. All right.
Cool. Good chatting with you guys.
All right, man. And then I'll chat with you guys later. And so thanks for listening to this, guys. If you guys like our I guess I don't know. Do you call this a podcast? Because it's a recorded phone call. Okay, how about this? If you guys like our recorded phone calls, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel. If you guys don't like it, hit the thumbs down so we'll know not to waste time making it. And if you guys have friends or family that would like to invest in cryptocurrencies, make sure that you let them know to subscribe to our channel so they can get more information from the Warren Buffett of cryptocurrencies, LeonFood.com. Hey, are we gonna have to start calling you the Oracle of Austin?
Okay, the Oracle of Austin.
The Oracle of Austin, Texas.
We're gonna need some theme music too. So
yeah.
All right, man.
Okay.
I gotta get going, guys. I'll catch you later.
All right. Thanks, man. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. See you guys later.